welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, 18-hour special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. This is the only daily MSME platform in the country, a show where you can voice your concerns and get answers to all your queries directly from our team of experts. We understand the issues that you, the MSME entrepreneur, face, and the show aims to bring you the most relevant and the most updated information on everything related to your businesses. Tonight on our Insights segment, a chat with Mansi Kirloskar, and on Bright Sparks, we're featuring label case and highlights of the jury round of the Leaders of Tomorrow Awards 2016. We speak to a lot of the next generation of business families here on the Leaders of Tomorrow to ask them how they're handling the pressures as well as the opportunities that come with the job. I caught up with the fifth generation of the Kirloskar family, Mansi Kirloskar, who started her own venture and decided to go down her own path, and also asked her learnings really from that and her advice for young entrepreneurs like her. Listen in. Mansi, thanks so much for speaking with us here on the Leaders of Tomorrow. We'd love to ask our entrepreneurs who join us on the show to start by talking about what their own journey has been like in terms of the entrepreneurship.
Well, I have graduated from the Rhode Island School of Design. I studied painting. This was in 2012. And the minute I got back, I started working on a hospital project. As you must be well aware, Kirloskars are known for engineering and manufacturing. I'm the fifth generation Kirloskar, and the hospital industry was something very new for us. And I never ever expected to get involved in this industry, but it was very, very exciting. Starting with something new and starting with a new venture for Kirloskar was very, very important, because I understood the importance of branching out.
Mansi, then based on that experience, if I can ask you what advice you'd have for our viewers about, changing their plans midway, or changing the plans when they realize that things are not really working out, what advice do you have?
I think it's very important to have a very set and well thought out business plan, because without that, the business plan is the building block of the company. And if you don't have a structured and well thought out business plan, I think it's very difficult to move forward. Yes, they do say that in any startup, a business plan is always very hazy, because the environment is very dynamic, especially when you're doing something new. But for a hospital, because of the dynamic environment and because of the kind of regulations the healthcare industry faces in India, I think it's very, very important to have a very set business plan, something that is very well thought out, and it's important to stick to it.
We've been doing a series of interviews here on the Leaders of Tomorrow, Mansi, where we've been talking about the second and third generation really of business families. In your opinion, why is it crucial for the next generation of business families to really follow their own path in some sense?
Well, I'm a fifth generation Kirloskar, and I think there's two things that are very important. Both have equal importance. Number one, it's very important for me to respect my family values, the Kirloskar brand, the kind of legacy and lineage that it has. Kirloskar is synonymous with trust, ethics, values, corporate governance and respect. And for me, it's very important that I follow those values and I sort of keep that intact. But at the same time, it is very, very important for me, or any second, third, fourth, fifth generation business person, to cater to their own interests. Because unlike the past, our generation is very much aware of things happening. We have access to the internet, and through the internet, we have access to the world. I mean, the possibilities are limitless. We study abroad. I've studied in Singapore and the United States. So the kind of interactions we have with people, the kind of exposure that we have, obviously lends itself to generate various kinds of interests, and a whole plethora of interests that we didn't even knew existed. So it's very important to branch out and try new things and start new industries, as well as maintain the family legacy and the core business.
Do you think the second and third generation of entrepreneurs of business families face more pressure than first time and first generation entrepreneurs? And what advice do you have really for our viewers in terms of managing expectations?
Of course, there's a lot of expectation. especially when you have parents and grandparents who have been very successful and very well known. There's definitely a lot of expectation, and there's definitely a lot of pressure that's felt not immediately but along the years as you start working, because people expect you to run an existing business exactly the way your parents or your grandparents have run it. And introducing new ideas, especially to employees who have been around for longer than you have, is very, very difficult. And navigating your way through that and convincing people that making a change is something that is positive is definitely very, very hard. But I think it's a good challenge to have. It's a fortunate challenge to face, because everything is very well set up. You have a group of people working for you. You have a set up business. You have SOPs that are running. And everything comes with its positives and negatives. So I would say for every second, third, or fourth generation entrepreneur, they should just feel very, very fortunate and take all the challenges very, very positively, because you have a platform that's set out for you. You have a very, very strong base, and we're more fortunate than, I think, the first generation, who had to start everything from the very beginning and had to start things from scratch.
We love also asking our entrepreneurs about one piece of advice that you've received which has possibly changed the way you think about your business. What would that be?
One thing that has kept me going personally, this is actually something my great-grandfather had said, and he was very progressive in his thinking. He said that you can never stop learning. And I think that's a very, very, very useful advice, because at times, especially when millennials like me come back from college in the US, they think they know everything. I always thought I knew everything. I always thought that the second I come back to India, I can change the world, and there's nothing new that I can learn. But this idea of never stopping, that one can never stop learning, is something that really makes me, and I think would make everyone, strive for perfection and strive to learn new things and to accept certain deficiencies that one might have. And the minute we accept these deficiencies, that's the time when, I think that's when we succeed.
You're passionate, I notice, about diving, Mansi. In your opinion, and what advice would you have for our entrepreneurs about why it's possibly essential to have hobbies, something that takes you away from the business, and yet what lessons that you can possibly have from these hobbies?
I think the work routine gets people very, very exhausting. It can be a very exhaustive experience to have a mundane work life. You know, you get up in the morning, go to work, sit in the office all day, work on a single project, and come back home. And that can tire the mind, and I think it's very important for people to have hobbies and interests outside of the workspace. So for instance, I absolutely love to go deep sea diving. It's not an easy hobby to have, because I can't do it after work every day. But it's something that completely disengages me from my regular work life. But what I had noticed in the past few years is that my interest for diving has actually complemented my habits at work. I think that hobbies always complement or supplement one's working habits. And that's why hobbies are so important.
Let me cap this interview off by asking you to talk to our viewers about some of the non-profit work that you do and why it's essential for young entrepreneurs like yourself to, in some sense, be involved in giving back to society.
So I've actually been involved in CSR activities since I was 14. I've been teaching at government primary schools and various other NGOs. I teach art and craft. And this whole, for the government to make it mandatory for companies of certain sizes to engage in community service activities, I think is great, because one, we don't have, community service isn't sort of embedded in Indian culture. And I think we have issues in abundance in India. We have a population in abundance in India. We have the largest growing youth population. Education isn't very strong. I think 85 to 90% of the school-going population attend government primary schools. And I've seen the situation, and I've seen the quality of education there, and it really isn't up to even a basic standard. And it's very, very important for companies of large sizes, not only large companies, but I think individuals as a whole who have the time and have the means to put in some effort and allocate time and resources towards giving back in any capacity. It doesn't have to be working with people, it could be working with the environment. We know that pollution in India is of concern. It can be just about anything, but I think that it's very important for people at a very young age, starting at 14, 15, 16, to engage in community service activities. Because if we don't make it a habitual process, there's no way in which we'd implement it at work or in a corporate lifestyle.
Mansi, thank you very much for speaking with us here on the Leaders of Tomorrow. Take a break. When we come back, we'll feature Label Kiss as well as bring you highlights of the jury round of the Leaders of Tomorrow Awards 2016. Welcome back. You're with us here on the Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight we're featuring Label Kiss as well as bringing you highlights of the jury round of the Leaders of Tomorrow Awards 2016. With the onset of colder days across India, women, particularly in Delhi, are putting on their winter best, and one label which is making fashionable women look even more fabulous is Label Kiss. Libza Manad caught up with the woman behind this brand to bring you lessons on what aspiring businesswomen should keep in mind before embarking on their entrepreneurial journey. Take a look.
A successful VJ, a cricket presenter, and now an entrepreneur. Archana Vijay makes her debut in this sphere with her venture Label Kiss. Label Kiss offers an impressive array of products from fashion accessories to gifting items to home decor. With a keen eye to make women look more gorgeous, Archana Vijay on labelkiss.com passes on her styling tips to the women folk who need advice on picking the right accessories.
A model, a VJ, a cricket presenter. Archana, you have surely donned many hats. But tell us, when and how were you bitten by the entrepreneurial bug?
I think I've been an entrepreneur for a long time now, because I think managing my own career was like a business by the end of it. So I was managing myself, and I think that's when I actually started being an entrepreneur. And then I got married and I moved to Delhi, and the moment I got here, I came back from my honeymoon and I was like, okay, now I'm here in Delhi. I've left Bombay. Now what do I do? So I was like, you know what, this is the perfect time to start something new in life. And you know, I was toying with a few things to do, and then I was actually wanting to create an offline lifestyle space, and then I was like, okay, you know what, but the future is online, so why don't I create an online lifestyle space?
Well, besides the gorgeous Archana Vijaya giving personalized look and feel to the products, what are some of the other USPs of the brand, you would say?
I think one of the USPs is the fact that I handpick each and every product on the site, and you know, we always try to keep in mind the mantra, which is keep it simple and sexy. That's what KISS stands for. So we try to give as much variety to our customers through the website. Also, it's like I said, it's a lifestyle store. It's not just an accessory store or an apparel store or everything, but it's your one-stop shop to come when you want to embellish, adorn an outfit or your home.
And talk to us about some of the challenges that you had to face en route to becoming an entrepreneur.
Oh my God, that list can go on and on. Firstly, I had no idea how much work it was going to be. I thought, yeah, I'll launch it, you know, I'll be the face of it, I'll pick products for it, but no, it's a 24/7 job. You know, I had to teach myself. Like when I first went to Lark and Shivam, and I said, you know, first I met Lark and I was like, you know, I want to build this website and I want to have like e-commerce. I had no, like at that time I had no idea what it entails, right? So it was just an idea, and then to see it in fruition and to see it actually like come together made me realize, oh my God, it's a lot of work, you know, and plus I have another career as well. So like to balance both is a massive challenge in itself. And then, you know, I mean, being a woman, again, like, you know, and that too coming from, like, you know, a fashion background and coming from, you know, the media industry, like, a lot of people are like, okay, like, what does she know about business? So I had to literally teach myself as I went along.
Well, Label Kiss is essentially an online brand, and your business model is not entirely cash-based. But since demonetization is a topical issue these days and it's impacting all businesses, so what sort of impact does the cash ban has on your business?
Oh, it definitely has had an impact because, while we are an online brand and we do have a lot of payment gateways on our website, a lot of people tend to choose COD, which is cash on delivery. And that obviously got hit once demonetization obviously happened here in India. And, so it definitely did have an impact. But obviously, because we're an online website, we do have like other payment gateways. So I think in the long run, it might help sales. But definitely right now, in the short term, it has affected us.
The fashion label has launched a new service called Fashion at Your Doorstep, wherein consumers can choose products through the app and try them sitting at their homes. This innovative service helps customers pick and buy at least one accessory out of the lot that's been delivered to their doorstep.
So we follow that minimal design trend in terms of our color palette, in terms of how many products should be showcased, how many number of categories should be there. So we are trying to simplify now the categories to very relevant sections.
Being an online website, it's very important for us to have a very strong digital presence. So one thing I think that we were successful in doing initially was getting a lot of social media, popularity online. Like in terms of digital, we were doing digital ads on Facebook, on Twitter, on Google, and I think that really helped us scale initially.
After a successful start online, Label Kiss now plans to adopt the online to offline strategy, setting up brick and mortar stores in order to offer consumers the touch and feel experience, an intelligent move which will help the label make a mark on many more consumers.
As we count down to the Leaders of Tomorrow Awards 2016 here on ET Now, tonight we're bringing you snippets of a jury round that we did over last weekend. With thousands of applications to run through, the jury for the Leaders of Tomorrow Awards had some tough calls to make. As a precursor, we bring you highlights from the jury round that we did earlier. Take a look. If you feel you have what it takes to be awarded as the best in the business, here is your chance to apply. Head on over to our website, download the form and apply. We called for nominations for over a month and received nearly 1,000 plus applications from aspiring MSMEs, startups and entrepreneurs. Last weekend, a distinguished jury was put to the challenging task of choosing the best candidate for each category. Two jury groups comprising of Keval Handa, Ganesh Iyer, Sudhir Rao, JC Sharma, Gaurav Rakshit, Pratik Pashane debated on 16 categories like textiles, home decor, auto components and much more. Nominees for each category made pitches to the jury in hopes of being deemed the best.
Well, I think it's quite exciting. We've been part of the ET Now Leaders of Tomorrow project for almost a couple of months now. So yeah, it's a fairly thorough process, very exciting, and really love the jury. Look forward.
The session has been good with the juries. We could explain our kind of like possibilities. We are positive and looking forward to the result. Hopefully it should be in our favor.
I think the work is what really counts all the time. So okay, we are just to present ourselves, and we know we are a niche segment and we are doing very good social impact work in the community.
I think jury's questions were up to the point. Whatever juries I have faced were having probably a good knowledge about our business. Our business is a blend of engineering, electronics, process and IT, and both the juries were having probably a strong domain knowledge. So they could ask me, I would say, relevant question. I felt they were knowledgeable. The jury on the video conferencing was probably from the finance side, and I think he was also up to the point asking me the questions related to the financial performance. Overall, I would say it was really a good experience.
Oh, wonderful. The jury was very cooperative. Sometimes when you enter a place like this, you feel chaos. But they made us very comfortable, and it was more about they made us talk. They were understanding us. They were understanding the nature of a business. That was really, and they were really supportive. In case of anything, they were really supportive.
The first time that I have, we have like opted to, go for an award or that kind of system. But yes, the jury was amazing. Both the people that I met, they were amazing people, and you get to learn a lot, discussing with these kind of people for sure.
It was a very nice journey throughout this ET Leadership Award. And basically every cooperative bank today, they need some kind of a platform in this competitive scenario to make their presence felt at the national level. So I think it was a great opportunity for us, and mainly the process was very simple, and it was more of a statistical thing. So I feel there was a huge transparency maintained in this thing.
How do you transform that organization?
While the task at hand was intimidating, the jury was thrilled to be part of a thorough evaluation process.
It's been good. Got to meet a lot of new, well, I won't say young companies, but companies that have a lot of youth and potential and vitality in them. Just like us, though, they really had a short time to showcase what they achieved in the last 3 to 5 years. And so a lot of props to them for putting it together. Very impressive journeys in many cases, and optimistic that they truly will represent the leaders of tomorrow.
It was a great experience today, learning from young entrepreneurs, some not young entrepreneurs but doing something different, how companies which are traditionally managed by individuals are getting professionals, and India is changing.
Very, very happy to interact with 21 companies from different fields, different industries, different stage of evolution for these companies. SME or MSME, they've always been a significant contributor to the economy. The SME MSME sector contributes up to 70% of the GDP of China, whereas in India it contributes only a third. So there's still a lot of scope for the SME sector to kind of grow, to for new entrepreneurs to come.
At the Leaders of Tomorrow, it is our endeavour each year to award the best in the MSME space. This year too, we hope the best entrepreneur wins. Tonight we brought you tips for young entrepreneurs as well as tips if you're a woman entrepreneur. And remember, if you are an MSME and an entrepreneur who wants to be featured on the show, or you have a query about any aspect of your business, write in to us. The email ID is leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. You can reach us on social media using the hashtag LOT. You can tweet at me personally. My Twitter handle is Sunanda_J, or call us on that number you see flashing on your screen. We promise to have all your queries answered. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.